How's it going out there, people? This video is going to be my 1 year review on working for Swift Transportation. I gotta say, the entire process from recruitment all the way down to where I'm at now has been super easy. The company, Swift Transportation, has been a great company. I have no complaints whatsoever about working for this company. They give you the tools that you need to succeed as a company driver. I've come across way more positive things than I have negative things with working for this company. Starting off with recruitment. My recruiter was super awesome, super straightforward, and just basically told me how it is. She had, as far as the academy stuff went, she had a little bit of outdated information because they had just transferred the academy here in SoCal from Central Refrigerated to being the Swift Academy, so it was a little outdated, but was still basically the same information. The academy was super easy. I also came into truck driving already knowing what to expect from watching YouTube videos and talking with people that drive trucks, and just doing my homework before just deciding to just jump in and do this. So my transition into this was pretty simple. The schooling was pretty simple for me just because I did my homework. I already knew a pre-trip before I even got to the academy, so that helped out a lot. So the academy, super easy. You just got to pay attention. You just got to ask questions and listen. The instructors are there for you to succeed. If you don't succeed, they're not gonna get paid, basically. And then after the academy, went to orientation. Orientation was great. I already had made a few friends with fellow students, so it made that process a lot easier as well. Orientation was a lot of videos and paperwork and more testing and whatnot, and then once orientation was over, we went and did our behind the wheel test and got our CDL. That process may have changed, I don't know. Again, this was a year ago, so it may be different now. After we got our CDL, I went back home. I'm pretty local to where the academy is, so I went back home for 3 days, and I hung out and I didn't do anything for 3 days. Then got a hold of my mentor. He was actually a day out on his way to Southern California, so I got to spend that day just getting ready, being prepared. Got on the mentor's truck. I had a great mentor. He was an owner-operator on the Dole account, Refrigerated, and he was a great mentor. He had very good communication skills. Very cool guy to be around in general. I asked him 1,000,000,001 questions, and he didn't get irritated. He never got upset. When I made mistakes, he just told me what I was doing wrong and how to fix it. He had a 13-speed Peterbilt, so that was completely different from what I was used to from the Academy Volvo trucks that were 10-speed. But got used to it, did my mentorship, got done with that, and I upgraded out of Phoenix terminal just because, from what I've heard, that being the main terminal, your chances of getting a new or newer truck when you upgrade was a higher possibility, which actually turned out to be true, because when I upgraded out of Phoenix, my first truck only had 60,000 miles on it. So it was a brand new Freightliner Cascadia. I'd been doing everything manual up to that point, but I already came into this with the mentality of working smarter, not harder. So when I upgraded, I asked for an automatic. It did mess me up a little bit when I finally moved on to the local account, but I'll get to that. The day I upgraded, I got a message on my Qualcomm from the driver manager for Craft. I kind of wanted to stay in the western states on like a dedicated regional type account, because I had a newborn at home, so I wanted to try to maximize my home time as much as possible. And so they put me on, and I let them know that from the start, and I think that's why the driver manager for the Craft account contacted me. But I basically just ran the western states, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, California, and it was cool. I liked it a lot. Even being, regional, not going out too far, my paychecks were still, after all said and done, $600-$700 a week. I was home almost every other night. Almost every 34-hour reset, if I had to do one, I got to be at home, or at least not too far from home. So that helped out tremendously, with me being away from home. I had to get off of that account, unfortunately. I don't know if he was a driver manager or just a dispatcher or what, but not a nice person. Would purposely call and harass the drivers. And so I have pretty thick skin, and I put up with it for a while, but I finally had gotten fed up with the way that I was being talked to by him. And so I gave him attitude back, and he punished me for basically returning the favor of the attitude that he was giving me, and left me stranded in Northern California when I had put in home time requests to be in Southern California. So at that point, that was enough for me. And that's nothing against Swift. That was that one particular employee. So what I did is I got a hold of the dispatch for the local accounts out of Fontana, California, which is in SoCal. And every Monday I call them. Hey, I'm so and so. This is my truck number. I'm on such and such account, and I'm trying to get on a local account. And I think for 3 weeks every Monday, and finally I just happened to call on that right Monday, and they said, hey, yeah, we got a local account. And keep in mind, at this point, I had only been with the company 4 months, maybe 5 months. So, they say you have to have a minimum of 6 months and to get on a local account. No, you just gotta have a good driving record. You gotta have a little bit of out there experience being on the road, just so they know that you can do it. But I don't think you need a full 6 months. I didn't have a full 6 months. One of the students that were in the academy with me, right after he got off his mentor's truck, he actually went straight to local. And then so did another guy on the class after ours. So I think you just got to be persistent, and you got to have a good attitude. You can't be giving people over the phone an attitude, because they're not going to want to help you. They're not going to want to work with you. So I got on what's called general freight, which the pay wasn't too great. It was equaling out to about the same that I was getting on the dedicated for Craft. But at least I was home every night. I had weekends off, which were great. And then I got put on to another account. I can't remember which one it was, but the pay was better, the hours were better, and I still had weekends off. And now I'm on another account that the pay is really good. The hours are a little tough at times, because they like to run the full 14-hour. But it's not bad. I still get 2 days off a week, except for right now around the holidays, it's considered peak time. So we're like right now is New Year's Eve, and we're working. We might work tomorrow too, but hey, I'm already in that age group that New Year's isn't really a holiday, so it doesn't affect me whatsoever. I was home for Christmas. We had Christmas Day off. I got off at 1 o'clock on Christmas Eve, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So um, I love it. I love it here. I'm completely happy. I would recommend Swift Transportation to anybody looking to get into the trucking industry. Um, and yeah, like if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, or you can message me on Instagram. It's also Running with Ruckus on Instagram. Now, would I recommend anybody staying with Swift and making a career? It depends. Like right now, I'm making roughly about $800 a week, but the hours are really long, and I'm tired a lot. But staying with a starter company like Swift wasn't my goal from the start. My goal from the start was to get my own truck, get on with the company that has a load board, and run my own business, and eventually have multiple trucks. So now that I'm hitting my year mark, January 6th is actually my 1 year mark with Swift. So I got some options. I got a couple of friends that want to get into the trucking industry, and because I am really happy with Swift Transportation as a company, I've been thinking about becoming a mentor and mentoring them and getting them into the trucking industry, and then seeing where I want to go from there. I have a few companies in mind that I would like to go work for. There's a new company out, RST Riverside. Been watching a lot of the videos from their drivers and from the company, and it seems like a really great company to work for. Unfortunately, I don't meet their CDL requirements. They believe their requirements, you have to have a CDL for 3 years. So that's the negative side of that. But other than that, RST Riverside seems like it's going to be a great company. They're just starting out, and they're already killing the game. So that's a good company from my research that I would like to go work for. As far as working for a company on a load board, I've narrowed it down to Landstar. Just because I don't want to work for a company like Interstate or Snyder that has local drivers and has company drivers, because they tend to give those drivers the good freight because they can pay them less and get more in their own pockets. And so it doesn't seem like a smart choice becoming an owner operator with a company like that. I've been following a lot of people on YouTube, all the YTTA people, TRB, shout out to TRB, the Wright brother. He's one of the main reasons why I'm here with Swift Transportation, and one of the main reasons why I was able to successfully get into truck driving, because his videos definitely helped me out a lot in not coming into this blind. You got Trucker Brown, Loshan, SoCal. Shout out to SoCal. His videos make me want to hurry up and get out there and become my own company, become an owner operator, own my own truck or trucks, because his videos are so in depth on what you need to do, and I've learned so much that I feel like I'm ready, which I know I'm not, but I definitely want to take that next step. So we'll see in the next few months what the plans work out to be, and I'll get into more detail as far as what companies I want to go work for and whatnot. And as far as my experience with Swift Transportation, I would highly recommend Swift Transportation. They've gone above and beyond to make my life as a truck driver and working for them as easy as possible. Their benefits are great. Their entire staff, with the exception of a few bad apples, is amazing. If I've ever needed to have a day off or had to call out for whatever reason, they've always been completely understanding. I know people call it forced dispatch, but I've built such a good relationship with my dispatchers and my planners that they call me. Well, even before I was on these local accounts, they would call me and say, hey, I have this load that picks up in your area tomorrow or whatever, and it's going to this place. Do you want it? Instead of just sending me a load and saying, yep, that's what you got, that's what you get. Because when I call and talk to them on the phone, I'm polite. I say, hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. My name is so-and-so. How are you doing today? Oh, that's good, that's good. Hey, well, this is what's going on. I just delivered my load. I'm ready for another load, and da-da-da-da. Like, you don't want to call and give them an attitude. Even if you're having a bad day, they don't deserve, even if they're giving you attitude and they're being rude to you, you being rude back to them isn't going to get you anywhere. So yes ma'am, yes sir, no sir, no ma'am, thank you. Treat them with respect regardless if they're treating you with respect, because you want something from them. So if you give them attitude back and you disrespect them back, you're not going to get anything. And so from what I've learned is being polite, caring about what they got going on, and understanding what they got going on, and understanding that your guys' relationship is strictly professional, but you're also not just another number. You're out there to work and make their life easier and your life easier. And it's worked out great for me. I've made such a great relationship with everybody that I've dealt with in this company, minus a few here and there. Their service department, same thing, top notch. Treat them with respect. They'll make sure you're taken care of. The equipment is amazing. All their trucks, they do have some older trucks, some older Volvos, but I broke down one time, and it wasn't until I was on a local account, and the truck had 700 something thousand miles on it, and it was just a regular maintenance thing. It blew a radiator hose. I called on road. They had somebody out there within 45 minutes. The dude was out there. He unfortunately didn't have the parts needed, even though I gave them a really good description of what was wrong. He left, came back, fixed it, but it had caused some kind of fault in the ECU. So by the time I got it pulled over, the check engine light was screaming, the engine shut-off light was screaming. So they had to tow it back into the shop. They had me back to the yard in enough time on my clock to be able to run another load to get those hours, even though I was hourly, to get my hours so that I wouldn't have a messed up paycheck because of that day. So I love it here. I really, really don't want to leave and go somewhere else, but I want to be my own boss, is essentially, I want to own my own company. I want to own my own trucks. And I have looked into possibly purchasing a truck and bringing it on with Swift, but I need to talk to the owner-operator people more and get more information and see if that's a good idea or not. So I'll definitely keep everyone posted. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. If you have any questions, concerns, ideas, send them my way. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. You can leave them in the comments below, or you can message me on Instagram. It's Rolling with Ruckus on Instagram. Please like this video and subscribe, and I will definitely keep putting out content. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you. Appreciate you watching it. See you later.